the park district. What I don't like that this board have attempted to do is stand with people just because they're against me. If you don't work for the village or work for any other body of government I govern, you go to the park. That's where all the rejects go.
So welcome back, you guys. We are here at another board meeting, and we're gonna go over, some recent news with Tiffany Henyard, and we're gonna look at her ongoing feud with the Parks Department. Yes, the Parks Department, okay? They just, beefing for some reason. So let me just show you a snippet of the most recent news that the Parks Department says they're having with the village of Dolton, and particularly Tiffany Henyard.
So what are you holding there?
I have 4 tickets issued from the village of Dolton, and each ticket is $500 a piece. That is $2,000 worth of tickets that I have here.
Dolton Park District President Cleo Jones says they were stunned last week when they received citations for doing work without a permit. He says 2 of the tickets were issued for spreading fresh mulch on district playgrounds.
So every year we replenish the mulch in the park to ensure that the safety of the kids are playing on a safe surface by playing on some healthy mulch. And we do this every year.
Have they ever asked for a permit before?
Never.
So this is the most recent controversy. So the Parks Department, being who they are, they're looking out for the safety and the improvement of the parks. So they're doing a common thing they do every year. It's putting down the fresh mulch for the children to play on. Okay, which Tiffany always says, she's big on the youth, and she's always, trying to make the future better for the children. So why stop this? Okay, something so simple as making this improvement to the Parks Department. We're going to do a little speculation into why I feel this is happening right now to the Parks Department, but let's finish this story really fast.
But it's not just mulch and swing sets. They say Henyard is holding up $600,000 in grants for the Park District, one from Blue Cross Blue Shield, the other from the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, by refusing to issue permits for the work.
As we have gone to the village for permitting, and they have been unresponsive. I have a project manager that is working on that, and they just refuse to give us the permit.
Okay, now I found what she said here really interesting, because there is an older video of Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard talking about one of the parks in Dolton. So let's go ahead and have a look at this clip.
Hey guys, this is Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the People's Mayor, and I wanted to come here to the park to show you guys the things that I have a problem with, and you should too. As you can see, right before you, a slide that's all dismangled, all messed up.
So I want to add this in. It looks like she was kind of in a rush to do this video. She didn't do her makeup. She's wearing a Thornton Township shirt instead of a Dolton shirt. So something must have really got to her where she just like, I have to address this. I have to do this video right now. I need to put these park departments in their place and put them on blast. I just want to point that out for you guys real fast. Let's get back to it.
Park, clean your act up. I can't stress enough how many things I fight for the people to have a good community in our village. Because guess what? You guys are doing lawsuits, you guys are doing all these things that's irrelevant to the things that you're not really taking care of, which is the kids, the people. You can have parties, you can have events, you can have all of that. But what really matters is the kids being able to get out of school, have somewhere to go that's safe. So I care about safety.
So she cares about safety. So why is she not giving the Parks Department the permits they need to make the necessary improvements like she's talking about in this video? And this video was about 9 months ago, you guys. So I'm pretty sure they have improved this park. If I'm wrong, you guys, and you're from Dolton and these parks look a hot mess still, then that's another video in itself. Because this does look bad. I'm not gonna act like I don't see this messed up park, okay? But if she's stopping the progress while simultaneously talking mess about them, then that's a whole other thing. Once again, you guys, let me know if you live in Dolton and if these parks are still looking like this. I would really like to know. Let's get back to a little bit more of this clip of her talking about this park.
How would you feel if your kid came home and told you they got injured at the park? You wouldn't believe it. because you won't believe that this exists in your very backyard. Look at the graffiti that they're writing throughout the park. Look at the things they're writing on the slides, on the different things throughout the park. Once again, all I can do is bring attention to it, and hopefully they fix it, because now I put it out there for it to be known. But I need them to actually fix the park and stop just using it as a partying holding place for them and their cronies.
So when she's referring to them and their cronies, she's talking about the trustees. So what was being reported at that time is that the trustees were being locked out of Village Hall.
Good evening to you. The mayor locking the trustees out of Village Hall tonight, forcing them to have a meeting out in the parking lot.
We as citizens, as residents of Dolton, have been shut out of a building that we pay taxes on, along with the trustees being shut out of this building.
Why the pushback on her part, you think?
Well, there's things on the agenda that she doesn't want us to pass.
So they were not able to go and conduct other meetings that they usually had throughout the month. So if you guys don't know, they're supposed to have more than one board meeting a month, which they're currently having right now. It's just one. They would have a COW meeting, which stands for Committee of the Whole, and they would also have a Finance Committee meeting where they would go over the budget intricately and discuss basically line by line items that they had concerns with. And in fact, here is Trustee Brittany Norwood explaining how that process would go.
Let's have a finance committee meeting where, because we have questions. We see that these items on this budget are bundled. We don't want to vote on something that's bundled when we're not exactly clear on what's what. Let's have a finance committee meeting. Let's discuss it line by line so all residents have a chance to know exactly how we're spending their money. And let's go from there and move forward with approving the budget.
So if you guys heard that, the previous year they had a finance committee meeting and they were presented with a budget with bundled items. Okay, that's not something you want to vote on if you're in charge of taking care of the taxpayers' money. And that's what Brittany Norwood is explaining what happened last year. And that's why she feels that having a finance committee meeting is in the best interest of the residents for transparency of what they're voting on. But you guys, I digress. But let's go ahead and get back to the original topic we came to talk about, and that's her recent controversy and past controversy with the Parks Department.
Dolton Park District Director Stephanie Wiedemann says if they don't get the permits in the next few weeks, the $400,000 grant to overhaul Blackstone Park with a new walking path and gazebo will expire. And taxpayers will have to eat $150,000 in money that's already been spent for the park's design.
What resident wants to look outside of their house and see beat up stuff? If we can upgrade these things and you're preventing it with a permit, the residents are suffering. They don't get to look out their door and see nice things because you're stopping it.
Just because we finish doing something safe for the community, upgrading our playgrounds. Why? Why are we receiving citations for doing upgrades to our playgrounds?
That's a good question. Why? Why would they get issued citations for upgrading the playground for doing their job? I think I have a reason. Because of the ongoing feud between the mayor and the Parks Department. You see, last year in August of 2023, the Parks Department was allowing someone to put on a car show, which they do annually. Well, Tiffany didn't want this to happen, according to the news outlets. This is all according to the news outlets, because she was having an event on the same day that they were planning their car show. So this is a snippet from the news of what happened.
It was just so crazy when I arrived here Friday and saw the blocks.
A South Suburban car show is canceled after the entrance is barricaded with giant concrete blocks.
Always a good time for everybody that comes out, fun, exciting, good for the community.
Bosley got an unexpected call last Wednesday from Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard's top assistant,
saying that the show would be shut down, but if I move my event to her location on Greenwood, that I would be fine. I took that as bullying.
Yeah, and rightfully they should take that as bullying, because it would just be too much of a coincidence that, you know, she's canceling their event and she's having one the same day, right?
Dolton Park District President Cleo Jones says Mayor Henyard has no legal authority over Park District property and believes she didn't want the competition to hurt attendance at her own event. a house music festival a few blocks away.
Not to mention they had already paid for the permit, $1,000 permit, and they got all set up only to come and find out the same day that they were supposed to have the event that the Dolton police had barricaded the park. Now let's look at some motivations as to why Tiffany Henyard might have canceled the car show.
Okay, so you guys know about the secret squirrel meeting that the Board of Trustees had at the Park District. I am vetoing all the things that they think they passed without this board.
So this is one. She's saying the trustees had a secret squirrel meeting at the Park District about things and she didn't agree with it. So there's one motivation right there. All right, let's hear her talk some more about the Park District.
So when you go over there and you work there, now you become into the hate group, and then the hate group start all this chaos and this mess, and it's always like a I hate Tiffany type of people over there.
Oh my goodness, seriously? So this is where we see it's always about her, and everyone's building hate groups around her, and I hate Tiffany, and that's what they're doing over there when they have their meetings. They're not conducting business. Apparently they're not talking about the financial state of the village. No, it's just all about Tiffany, apparently. Let her tell it. That's what it's about.
And then the trustees go and they join the same hate group, and sometimes somebody got to say, you know what, enough, I'm gonna fight back. And when you fight back, as long as you righteous in what you're doing, you will prevail.
So yes, she's righteous. She's trying to fight back. It's her against the world. Everyone else is wrong, okay? She is the righteous one. So this is what we must believe, people, because this is what she continually preaches instead of showing proof that she is the righteous one and that she is the right one. I'm just gonna say it sounds a little dictatorshipy to me.
I keep on telling y'all, my job is to protect you.
When someone has to continually preach and convince people that they are right and that they're doing right, it's usually the opposite. All someone has to do if they're right and they have everything in order the way it should be is simply show proof, right? And then keep it moving. But we see this time and time again with Tiffany. There's always the deflection. There's always blaming others. The total narcissistic personality traits just on full blast every board meeting. And if her supporters can't see that by now, that she is a full-on narcissist who doesn't care about anyone, not even the people in her inner circle who have probably lied to protect her, and who have done things they probably wouldn't normally do to keep their jobs, then I don't know what to say to those people at this point. Because even just from an outsider looking in, it's just so easy to see through the deflection and the smoke and mirrors. It's easy to see, and this is my opinion. Like I'm gonna just keep saying that, okay? This is my opinion. This is what I see. I don't live in Dolton. I don't know anyone who lives in Dolton, so I'm just going off of what I see and what's presented to me. Okay. And another thing I wanted to touch on, she's always saying fake news, you know, they just come and they just tell one side of the story. But whenever she gets a chance to tell her side of the story, whether it's posting on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, it's always just defensive. It's never, oh, this is what's really going on. Here's the budget. This is that. The trustees actually proving things. You know, she had her podcast. She didn't really prove anything as it had to do with the accusations against her, and what she's been caught in as far as lying about. Didn't address any of that type of stuff. So when people do that, you really got to look at it like, this is a dishonest person. This is not someone I would want anything to do with. And this is definitely not someone I will want in a position of power who's controlling the money and stuff in the city where I live. That's just my opinion on the whole matter. But now let's look at the reason why Tiffany Henyard said she canceled the car show.
If you live off of 142, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. The prior year, they had a car show there. And if y'all want, go research, and Chief Collins can attest to this. We had to call a layers call out. That means that we had to call officers from all over to help us because there was that many people out there. We then had to shut down that car show, and they was parking off the, y'all know that live in town, off the E-way, off that one lane. They was parking there, getting out the car, going to the car show. Come on, man. So just imagine how many lives we had to save.
Yeah, you guys, just imagine, okay? Use your imagination, because it didn't happen. They didn't have to save a lot of lives that day. But this is the basis of her argument to justify canceling the car show, because saving a lot of residents' lives and, things like that. Super Mayor, all that good stuff. Let's listen some more.
If you go down Woodlawn that day, you couldn't get down there. A whole nother safety issue. So if it's a fire or somebody have a heart attack, got an issue. The ambulance couldn't go down there.
You guys, I just can't with the ambulance. Come on. Learn how to speak, okay? You talk so much. You need to start improving your speech. I'm just gonna say it, all right? And usually I don't like to just one-on-one dog people, but I know sometimes I mispronounce words, but I at least try to fix them. I work on them. I look it up. Thanks to Google and all this wonderful technology we have readily available to us, we can work and we can improve these things. And that's what we call growth, okay? But growth is hard for some people, all right? And as we can see, we continue to see her say the same things over and over in each board meeting. You would think she would grow from that and move on as being the leader, like she likes to say, lead the way and lead it to another path that's not so negative all the time. That's not what's happening. Let's continue.
The police couldn't go, nor could our engines. So my job, once again, is to protect you guys. They even hired or ordered a bird, what y'all call it, Chief Collins, a helicopter came. All this happened last year. So now this year, why would I allow the same mess to go on? My thing is pull permits. Let us know that you're doing what you're doing. Don't just pop up and say we got an event.
So here we go with the gaslighting, the out and out lie, okay? Because they did have a permit. In fact, they paid $1,000 for the permit. But for some reason, she decided to say they didn't have a permit. They're just going to show up. If they were just going to just show up, how would you know to put your police barricades there? How would you know that they were going to be there if it was just spontaneous? Oh, I'm just going to show up. We're just going to have a car show. So that right there, I feel was just an outright lie. Because why? And then why would someone pay for a permit for a car show knowing that it was going to be canceled by the mayor? They didn't know it was going to be canceled. They did what they usually do, pay for the permit. They thought it was going to happen, but then she pulled a stunt and shut it down. That's what I think happened. That's what I see happened. And also, she's so concerned about, the ambulance getting through, but she's okay with blocking off the whole street with those concrete barricades that we plainly see.
Sure enough, when Bosley showed up at the park Saturday morning, he found that giant concrete barricades had been placed at the entrance, and Dolton police were threatening to tow any cars that parked there.
So the double standardness and everything, it just goes on and on into infinity. And the thing about it is she talks so much in these board meetings that we're able to go back and we're able to compare and see that she is not the person she's trying to portray herself to be. I'm going to say trying because she's not doing a good job at that. Okay? She's not portraying herself to be a righteous person who is there for the residents. All right, you guys, that's going to be it for today. Let me know what you guys think about this latest development with her and the Parks Department, her ongoing feud with them. Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please remember to leave it a like. And if you're new here, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.